Okay, here's a good one. So, the other video is this is a spin-off of the other video, which is basically number one, what would happen if Fox Family wasn't bought? What if Jaime Saban's wasn't a dumbass idiot and didn't buy the Family Channel? With Disney on the Family Channel and turn it to eventually ABC Family and then turn it to Freeform. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have that channel. I don't think they would, but on the other hand, they might. I mean, if we go with the whole thing of time, no matter what changes, it's inevitable what happens. It will be inevitable. If we go by that idea, then that means that if it wasn't because he bought the Family Channel, it was something else that would cause Fox Kids to crash and burn and die in 2002. Well, basically in 2002, 2003. So anyways, it's like something else. But let's just be on the bright side. What if Fox Kids could have still existed and Jaime Saban wasn't a complete dumbass idiot? Well, I can tell you that's... Well, the interesting part is that eventually it did fuse with 4Kids TV. So... I mean Fox Box, which I have no idea who actually owned Fox Box. So the only interesting part would just be the fact of where he has to go against 4Kids eventually, and 4Kids will have their own channel, or basically they would take over Kids WB, and note that since the buyout of all of Fox Kids stuff, that means that there will be no Jetix. Jetix would not exist. Of course, it wouldn't exist because the Family Channel wouldn't exist either. I mean, if they did do a whole buyout thing still, they wouldn't have a place for it to go. Besides, maybe they would already make Disney XDs faster. So Toon Disney would get the boot even quicker. Not sure. I'm just trying to think. I think One Saturday Morning eventually died. I think that eventually died. So ABC Kids would most likely never exist. Unless, of course, if 4Kids did a deal with Disney. Which, 4Kids do a deal with Disney? Are you out of your damn mind? No, they wouldn't. So it's like, then where would they go then? Would CBS actually be cool enough to be like, yeah, sure, yes, because at this point, CBS totally sucked. It's like, yeah, let's just keep this on record. CBS totally sucked. And it still sucks to this day of all the crap that they have. For them to actually be top dogs and to get 4Kids to be a part of them, that would take some brains. That would take some good brains for them to actually say yes. Oh my gosh, yes. They have them be like looking at freaking Pokemon and be like, oh my gosh, you'll bring stuff like Pokemon over here and we have more people to watch. Oh my gosh, you bring us kids? You bring us children? You actually bring us children? It's like, that's the thing where it's like, oh my gosh. But I doubt they actually would still be interested or even interested at all to do that. So 4Kids would actually most likely not come over here in America, so many other stuff would not be present. So, including Fox Box wouldn't exist because they don't need it since Fox Kids. Other hand, that doesn't mean that all the stuff that happened on Fox Box wouldn't actually go to Fox Kids. For all we know, that means that Fox Kids would have had all the Fox Box content plus Power Rangers. Yes! Yes, plus Power Rangers. Let's see anything. So Power Rangers, I guess Spider-Man Unlimited would still get to have its run. The Ripping Friends would still they might have a season 2. Spy Dogs might have a season 2. They just had many other ones as like, they were just one-note characters. Oh yeah, I think Big Red and Rusty might have a second season. Would they? But I know that Cyber 9 was like a yawn. It was like Cyber 9, Cyber, oh my gosh, there's so many ones. It's like, what the frick? Galador deserved to die. Indeed. It's like, yeah, indeed. It's like, they got to the point where they really were scraping the bottom of the barrel to get shows. And for 4 Kids actually team up, it's kind of funny. We're like, okay, well, 4 Kids team up with Fox Kids, and it's like, it could be possible. That could be possible. But on the other hand, Kids WB do have a little bit of a deal, which is kind of weird too. Where it's like, how in the world did this even work? Where you have Foxbox and you had Kids WB. Kids WB had Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Both from 4 Kids. And they were basically going at each other for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, 4 Kids just sprouted there, and then 4 Kids came from, it just went like completely crazy. It's like, what the world? To the point where it's like, there's 2 channels that's just basically the same thing. There's no competition because they both took over both channels. But for them to actually do have competition, because Fox Kids didn't die, that would have been great. The only question would be like, well, besides the whole thing of, will Pokemon actually be taken away from Kids WB still in this timeline? Most likely yes, because Cartoon Network still is a jerk ass. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually like, oh, Static Shock gets to have a season 6 and it goes to Cartoon Network. Fuck you, Cartoon Network. Oh my goodness. But that's always a little thing that's like, we don't know what happens to the 4 Kids everything, because the Fox Kids is here to stay for a little bit longer, which eventually everything died out. It's like, yeah, because as soon as the streaming service happens, that's when things get fucked up. And notice that Fox Kids did actually do weekday stuff too. So the question remains that if it continued on, would they have caught their losses and still actually been like, oh yeah, well, starting next year, there will be no more weekday stuff. It's like, I don't think they're that stupid. I'm pretty sure because they have to depend on their own selves, that's why they were like, oh, it's online. You just see it on Saturdays. Everything else is online. It's like, it wasn't ready for that. It's like, yeah, it wasn't ready for that. You're a complete idiot. Let's see. I think they would still continue on until 2006. Because I think Kids WB did the exact same thing eventually. But it was because they were going to be, for me, they were changing. Because they're going to eventually become the CW. And CW are like, fuck the kids. Fuck that. Do we really need to think about the kids? And it's like, wow. And I'm pretty sure that, and also they're just thinking about the whole streaming service, which that was like 2006, 2007. It kind of was there, but it didn't really flourish until like a few years later, though. So I guess if the competition was still there, they would still actually be like, yes, we're going to continue on because Fox Kids are still doing weekday stuff. And it still is a competition, even though, back in the day, it eventually became not a competition at all. It came to a point where it's like, and they dissolved because it's like, why do we have 2 stations when we can just have 1 station, 1 stuff? So goodbye, Fox. Hello, CW. And that's what happened. And it's like, yeah, that's why it went to the last one standing. That's where ABC Kids, as soon as Nickelodeon took Power Rangers, that's why they got rid of ABC Kids. They didn't really want to compete besides being like, here's Power Rangers. This is the thing that actually will make people watch. And since we're complete jerk asses and not going to be like, oh, well, kids deserve to go out and play. So why don't we put it on at 8 o'clock in the morning so the kids can actually enjoy shit? Nope, they didn't do it. Didn't even do it. Even though it's kind of funny where it's like, why in the world didn't I actually just go out and come back before noon? That's a good question where it's like, I don't know. I didn't think like that back in the day. But it's really hard to figure out what exactly could really truly happen if Fox Kids stayed. Would Fox Kids be truly stabilized to the point where it's like they could still do things even after this time? Or will just like, CW, the streaming service got too much and, well, I'll have to go with the idea of, I can't even say we can use Vortex as a template of what Fox could have continued. What Saban's could have continued with Fox Kids. Because note, he took the freaking previous people who were a part of Toon's Eye and put them in charge of Vortex. Dumbass move because they go for cheap. Did Fox Kids go for cheap? Maybe, but at least they attempted it. At least they attempted it, and it was fresh. It's a fresh freaking show, unlike Nuts and Bolts, where it's like, oh, Nuts and Bolts, that was a few years old. You could actually see the ending because they had a second season, and well, there you go. It's like, oh my gosh. And talk about they got hung up on cubics. What the fuck? So cubics got like so freaking loved on. Ugh. My goodness. Let's see, anything else that needs to be made sure. I will just say this. We don't know for sure if Fox Kids would continue on, and since he had extra money because he didn't actually spend it on Fox Family, that means that he could so get more shows. And some shows could actually have gotten seasons that they should have gotten, like Spider-Man Unlimited, even though the second season seems like, oh good lord. The Ripping Friends would actually have been cool to have another season. Wild Force would have stayed on Fox Kids. Ninja Storm would have became Ninja Hexagon. And then after that, let's see, after that it was Dino Thunder. Yeah. It's like, would they actually have done that? It's like, would Dino Thunder actually be like that? Would they actually have brought Tommy Oliver back? Jason David Frank? After Power Rangers Hexagon, do you really want to have, then we bring Jason David Franks one more time? It's like, back to back. And it's like, no. It's like, yeah, no. So it would have been a different Dino Thunder we dealt with, but at least the good news is that we would have a team up. Yeah, we would have team up for Wild Force and Hexagon. That would have been a team up. We would have a team up with, we already got a team up. So basically that was just one missing team up. And it would just continue on. And they would be okay with covering up a Ranger death. Not as bad as freaking Disney did. Like, jeez. They cut like 15 episodes because they were like, how do we get rid of the White Ranger? Well, we don't want the White Ranger to die. Okay, we'll find him. His Zord can't destroy either. It's like, okay, then what will you do? We cut all the ones that actually have the finale and stuff, and just there we go. Disney, you freaking damn wuss. Yeah, but everything else will actually just maybe a little bit better. It'll be a little bit more serious. Maybe the theme songs will be a little bit better, which mostly all the theme songs sucks. I say this once, I say it again. Mostly all the theme songs kind of suck when it comes to Disney having them. Power Ranger Samurai would be something different if we're able to get this far. It's like, if we're able to get to this far, Power Ranger Samurai will be completely different, and it won't be stupid, dumbass idea. Megaforce will also be completely different. We'll just continue on having the line of seasons, and we basically have all the seasons. We have all the figures we want. I don't know if Bandai America will have that burnout like they did with us. It's like, yeah, it's like in this new timeline, this other timeline, it's unsure that Bandai America is like, oh, we want to call it quits. Oh, we're tired of this. We're tired of Power Rangers. It's like, we don't know for sure. It's like, maybe because Disney made them burn out on freaking Power Rangers, maybe. Maybe that's what happened, is that Disney asked for too much more stuff than what they wanted to give. And maybe that's the reason why things went down. I guess technically for Jungle Fury, we might not have the Spirit Rangers. That's a sad loss. But on the other hand, the freaking actual adapted from the Sentai is well worth it. It would be extremely worth it. Even if they actually transform the intro and still had the Japanese intro, but the intro has been adapted differently, but they still have all the themes. Oh my gosh, do you know how good that freaking intro would be? Oh man. Yeah, it's like, when it comes to Jungle Fury versus Geki Ranger, oh my gosh, Geki Ranger's theme can kick. It would be a mercy killing at this point when it comes to going against Jungle Fury. It's like, it's a mercy killing. You don't want to see that battle. That battle is so horribly brutal, we have to make it rated R. Or even triple X. Or NC-17. Because it's that horrible of a battle. You're basically bringing someone who has a stick, just a twig, versus someone who actually has a bamboo staff and knows the Shaolin ways. Yeah. Anyways. I can't tell you for sure how exactly it would play out, but I think it will be a little bit better, but that means that Gen X would not exist. 4Kids might actually just straight up go for CW, and the good news, it means that all the good shows will still be intact, and all the shows that are like meh would not actually return or even exist, which is good. ABC Family or ABC Kids would not even exist because they're like, oh, fuck this. Because we gotta show guys golf. Yes, we gotta show them crappy programming of boredom and golf. Anyways, I'm just gonna go now, but still, people can dream, right? We can dream.
Who the hell are you? Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative.
In my house? In the middle of the night? And who the hell are you?
Run, stupid!